Why does anxiety seem to get worse the more we ignore it? I received this question on this video a little while ago, and today we're diving into why this is the case. Hey there, my name is Katie. I'm a licensed anxiety therapist on a mission to help you cultivate peace, presence, and confidence through evidence-based education as well as some meditation practices. When it comes to anxiety, the more that we understand it, the easier it becomes to manage it and heal from it. So I really hope that today's topic can lead to a bit of freedom for you. This question that I received was specifically asking, why does anxiety get worse when we ignore it? And if it does, is this a function of our logical brain or our intuition? Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a function of either our logical brain or our intuition. Instead, I would just say that this is a natural product of the body's innate protective mechanism. I'm going to use something called the anxiety cycle to try and explain this for us. When our body senses any type of threat, it's going to initiate our protective mechanism, aka our anxiety. These threats are typically what we call triggers, and triggers typically lead to discomfort. Now, anytime the human being experiences discomfort, it's a very normal reaction to try to avoid it, get rid of it, eliminate it in some way. The methods that we use to try and avoid, change, eliminate, etc. are what we call control strategies. You can learn more about those in this video. Control strategies do tend to lead to short-term relief, which tends to make us think that they are working. But what we often don't realize is that when we use these control strategies to avoid, change, or eliminate the anxiety, what we're actually doing is sending a signal to our brain that says, hey, you know that thing that was making you uncomfortable? Yeah, that's actually dangerous for you. So the next time that we come up against that same or a similar trigger, our body recognizes it. It remembers back to that last time that it identified it as a threat, and it goes, okay, last time we identified it as a threat, and so this time we are going to ramp up our protective response, which means more anxiety for us. So long story short, anytime that we're using a control strategy to change or eliminate or avoid our anxiety, even if we experience a bit of relief in the moment when we're using one of those strategies, anxiety is actually going to increase in the long run. If we find ourselves in this place where we are responding to our anxiety as if the anxiety is the threat, that is when we need to start changing our relationship to the anxiety and increase our distress tolerance to anxiety in general. Basically, we need to reteach the brain that anxiety is not the threat to us. And this is where exposure therapy comes into play. There are so many ways that we can engage in what is known as exposure therapy. But in a nutshell, all exposure therapy really is the reteaching of the brain of what is safe and what is dangerous. And that can look a lot of different ways. You can do that within the therapy room. You can do that on your own through something called a behavioral experiment. There's so many ways that this can be utilized in daily life to manage perfectionism and social anxiety and just various types of anxiety that you might experience in your daily life. Sometimes it can be really helpful to go through exposure therapy and kind of create like an exposure hierarchy and go through all of the clinical steps with the help of a professional, for sure. If that's something that is more comfortable for you or that you think is going to be really beneficial for your specific flavor of anxiety, then by all means, go for it. Seek out that professional help, and I really hope that that's beneficial for you. Now, if for whatever reason therapy is not necessarily in the cards for you, I want to give you some tips and tools for being able to engage in these types of reteaching strategies so that you can start to experience some relief too. My next video is going to go into a couple of different ways that we can bring these reteaching strategies into daily life to increase our distress tolerance to anxiety or whatever else is really a trigger for us. I hope that going over the anxiety cycle today kind of sets the foundation for that next video and any other videos that might be really beneficial for you in managing and healing your anxiety. Let me know what you think. Maybe ask any questions that you have, or if you want me to expand on anything. I know this video was pretty short and sweet and to the point, so feel free to ask away down in the comments. Let me know if this was beneficial for you by hitting that like button, and I will see you guys next time.